from the Minnesota Archers Alliance. So excited to have Nick Kappers on a little video chat here. Just wanted to ask him a few questions about his recent experience at the Lancaster Archery Classic. Nick, welcome. So good to talk to you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're super proud of you, man. We love it when Minnesota people go out and just do great things. So we're super proud of your win at the Lancaster Archery Classic in the Open Pro division. Now, PJ said on the broadcast that you've been shooting for 2 years. So I know that that's not quite true. So I wanted to just give you a chance to just talk a little bit about your background. How'd you get started? How long have you been shooting? Just give us a quick little bio there.
Yeah, so I started shooting actually tournament through the 4-H. I did a bunch of the 4-H state shoots and kind of set a goal as a little kid to make the national 4-H shoot, which I did as a junior, I think, at 15, and went down to Grand Island and won that tournament. Then I kind of set the bow down for a few years and picked it back up 3-4 years ago and started shooting pro 2 years, going on 2 years now. So.
Okay. And what was the decision that led you to say, hey, I'm going to do this as a pro?
I mean, my first tournament, I went to the Indiana State trail shoot, did really well. That's kind of when I realized that I'm going to, stay committed to it. And it's always been a lifelong goal to be able to do what I'm doing now, and just kind of really focused and determined on getting here and being where I'm at today.
So we were talking earlier, you work for your family business. Does that give you the kind of flexibility you need to be able to practice and kind of commit to do the things, or do you kind of, like a lot of us, kind of trying to find time to practice here and there as you can?
Yeah, I still work full time. I get off, go to work every morning and get off work every night at 5 and hit the range and try and shoot, as many arrows as I can. Probably, 90, 100 arrows a day, and just try to stay conditioned to be able to get up there and shoot well.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite format? Indoor, outdoor, 3D, spots? What's your field? What's your first love?
I definitely I favor indoor. I really like spot shooting. I played around a little bit with 3D. I did the ASA circuit for the last couple of years. It's a lot of fun. 3D, get walk around the woods and stuff like that. But I'm definitely I definitely favor indoor and spot shooting 50 meter a lot more than 3D.
Okay. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience at Lancaster. Tell us, kind of take us through the tournament. How'd your qualification round go? How'd the eliminations go? And then we'll get to the shoot up.
Yeah. So I came into the qualifier on let's see, that was Friday. Shot the qualifier on Friday and kind of had a rocky day. Didn't shoot the greatest. I ended up with a 654, I believe, out of a 660. So I dropped a few X's. Wasn't real strong in my shot. Not the greatest I've ever shot by any means. But
probably sitting about maybe about 20th or something like that. Maybe in the teens, somewhere 20.
Yep. I made eliminations coming in at 21st or 22nd, I think. Okay. Yep. So was sitting pretty good coming into the eliminations. Just hit the practice range and tried to work on my shot a little bit more, and came into eliminations shooting pretty good, pretty confident in my shot, and shot really well. I think I cleaned 2 of my rounds. And
who'd you face in eliminations?
My first match was against Chad Rada, which was kind of a funny story because I was actually staying with him at an Airbnb. But my first match was against him. and then I shot against Chris Perkins and Dane
No,
Johnson.
no slouch, Chris Perkins,
No.
Iowa 2022 Iowa Pro-Am winner and amazing shooter.
Yep. Yeah. It was his match and Dane. I mean, they were all tough matches. I mean, everybody that we're shooting against up there is definitely earned their spot and where they're at, and definitely was not not an easy match by any means. Any person I shot against all weekend are unbelievable shooters, and you know it was I just held my shot together and was able to capitalize on some of their mistakes, and made it through the eliminations, come into the shoot off in 6th place.
Okay, so at Lancaster, the top 8 in Open Pro make it to the shoot up format. And if you're watching this video and don't know anything about Lancaster, they have a very different sort of a format for their finals where you have the opportunity to shoot your way up all the way to the top. So Nick, you started in 6th out of 8. And I mean, we'll spoil the ending, right? You went on to win. So you had to shoot what, 5 matches then? Is that right?
6, I think. 6 includes 6 Kyle.
Yeah. So 6 matches to win. So he had to go 6-0 in those effectively more elimination rounds against some of the best people in the world. So that's pretty amazing. Just tell us a little bit about the experience. And Lancaster is sort of famously nerve-wracking. They have the archers up on podiums with the lights, and if you haven't seen the video, I'll put a link to the video. You need to watch it. But what's that experience like of standing on that podium and kind of having all that going on? Did you feel nervous?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't even talk when they did the equipment interview. Like, I was stuttering so bad. The way that they do the format's a lot like the World Archery stage. You got, the 2 people up on the podium. It's not you're all up there shooting in the same line. So the spotlight's really on the shooters, and it's a lot more nerve-wracking than a standard. I mean, obviously Vegas is very nerve-wracking too, just because of it's Vegas. But I've made a few shoot-offs in the past, but that one was by far the most nerve-wracking that I've ever done.
Did you find the little interviews in between ends and things, did that actually help calm you down, like distract you, or did you find that actually made you more nervous?
I think it made me more nervous. I wasn't really looking forward to doing the interview when I come up there, but I just, I have Darren Christianberry to thank a lot for, talking me through it and keeping my head in the game. So it was.
And Darren's the pro staff coordinator for Elite, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So what was the now the other innovation, I guess you could say, in the Lancaster shoot up this year was the presence of the 12 ring, right? That was kind of a big deal. And if you've seen the shoot off, it was a little 1.5 centimeter white spot at 6 o'clock on the target, right on the line between the 7 and the 8. And so sort of a classic risk reward kind of a situation. So I'm curious, what was your 12 ring strategy going into the shoot ups? Like, before you even started, like, did you have a strategy in your head about when you would do it, if you would do it?
Yeah, I had a pretty solid game plan coming into it. I actually shoot a large dot in my scope that covers up most of the yellow. So my strategy coming into it was, I had to move my sight to, aim center and hit low. I had all that figured out, my sight tape coming into it. I wasn't going to go up there and just start shooting 12s. I was going to use those as kind of a last resort if I needed to make up points, and it worked out on a few of them that, I probably wouldn't have won if it wasn't for the 12 ring. My first 2 matches, I think I cleaned. I don't think I dropped a point till my 3rd match.
Yeah, you're super on the money, man. Just pounding 11s. And again, if you haven't seen it, the X at Lancaster counts as 11. So the 12 ring is a 1 point bonus. Yeah, I shoot the same thing. My dot's really big, so there's no way I could see that tiny thing. So
Yeah,
I kind of was thinking the same thing. If you just have a mark on your sight, just keep aiming middle. That's
yeah,
probably the best way to go.
yeah. I had set it, so I found a sight tape that was exactly 5 yards. So I just moved my sight tape up 5 yards, and just aim center and hit low. So and I didn't. It was I had looked at. I didn't order any of those targets, but I knew right where the 12 ring was going to be. It was right on the 7-8 line. So um, it was pretty easy to practice. I knew it was 1.5 centimeter, which is just under the side, just smaller than the 11 ring.
Mhm.
So I had a pretty good game plan coming into it, and it worked. So
Now, very few people actually, and I think people were there was a lot of anticipation about whether people would really go for that or not. And I think it seems like at least most everybody kind of was having the same approach you did, where it's like, I'm going to have this in my back pocket, you know,
yeah,
if I need it, I can go for it. And then you go to your match with Cousins, and Dave Cousins, right out of the gate, boom, he goes for the 12. So he was the first guy, and I think the only guy. I didn't see anybody else. I didn't see every match in the men's open and the non-pro, but in the open pro, he was the only guy to do that. Like boom, every end he's throwing it down and going for the 12. Did that? How did that? What did you think of that when at the start of that match?
um, so almost everybody was hitting low 10 on their first arrow.
Did
Um,
you notice that at the time? Because on the
yeah,
broadcast, Steve Anderson was saying that, and I don't know if you noticed that, but
yeah,
Anderson is on he goes, everybody's hitting low, like 4 clicks low and 2 clicks left. He goes, and he's saying like everybody's spotting Nick a point. Like in the first end, they were
yeah,
giving you a point on almost every person.
yeah. So they had a stage set up that was, trying to mimic the lighting and everything for the shoot off, where we had um spotlights on the shooters and then on the target.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know why everybody was hitting low. I tried figuring it out. I can't explain it. I can't see them like setting the stage, half yard or, further than
Yeah,
what it was in the practice.
it
I
must
didn't
be
think of
lighting,
that.
right? That's the only thing. It
That's
must have
the
been some.
Yeah, it's the only thing I could think of. But I was shooting really good in the practice range, so I didn't dial for it. I didn't set my sight for it. I just came out there and trusted my shot, and it worked out for me. And I think that's what happened with Dave Cousins when he came out and hit high on the 12 ring. I think he might have. I haven't talked to him about it yet. I might ask him in Vegas, but um, I think he had dialed for a low shot coming in on the first arrow when he hit high on the 12. Um, but I can't say for sure. I haven't asked him yet. So
Yeah. Now, how many 12s did you end up going for? Was it maybe four, something like that?
um, well, I went for one and I missed high against Robert Householder. I was holding a little bit higher. I broke high and I just tried throwing it up there, and because I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
shoot a 7 or an 8, so I tried at least getting a 9 or a 10 out of it. Um, but I think overall, I think I got 4 12s.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty impressive, pretty impressive. Well, um, amazing performance. Did you have like did you like so when you go in as the number 6 person in that shoot up format? Did you say what was your mindset? Was it I'm going to shoot up and win this today, or was it one match at a time, one arrow at a time? Like, kind of how did you think about it?
Yeah. It was when Kyle stepped up there on stage. I mean, it was my heart started racing a little bit
And
faster.
that was the final. That was like
Yes,
for first.
that was for first place. I came into that just taking it one arrow at a time. I mean, it's Kyle. He is probably one of the best shooters in the world. Today.
Two-time Vegas winner. I mean,
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Um, so I hadn't really expected him to give me a point on the first end. So, and he ended up dropping his first arrow like almost everybody else, which gave me an advantage coming into round 2. And I think I dropped a couple, which tied us up. And it was, I came into that match, I just wanted to take it one arrow at a time. He is definitely not somebody that I wanted to go into a shoot off with.
No.
Yeah. So when he, I really didn't want him to shoot the 12 just because I knew he was going to hit it. So I dialed my sight. And as soon as they announced that he shot a 7, and I quickly moved my sight back. And
you could see that on the broadcast, by the way.
Oh, really?
You could see, yeah, after he shot that and missed the 12, right on the bottom of the screen, we could see you like quickly, your bow came up, putting it right back where it was before.
Yep. And I had Darren behind me talking to me. He's like, he's telling me that he's got the clock for me. Because as soon as the other person's arrow hits the target, your clock starts ticking. You have 30 seconds to shoot your arrow. And to move your sight and then get drawn back, I mean, it takes a little bit of time. My shot process is about 10 seconds. So I had Darren, luckily I had Darren behind me. He had the clock for me. So
awesome. Well, congratulations. We're so proud of you. Like I said before, we're rooting for you at Vegas. Give us a schedule. When are you leaving for Vegas?
Tomorrow
we're recording
morning.
This on Tuesday. So
yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. So I got to go home and just threw some laundry in last night. And I got to repack my bags and flying out. So
we'll go get them. We'll be rooting for you. Best of luck. And congratulations on the big Lancaster win.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Nick. Bye.
See ya.